Okay, let's talk about those little switches in your electrical panel. You know, the ones hidden away in a closet or down in the basement. We all know they're important, but there's a huge and honestly kind of dangerous misunderstanding about what they actually do. So we're going to clear that up right now.
So you see one of these in your switchboard. The first thought for pretty much everyone is, that's the thing that saves me from getting a nasty shock if I touch a bad wire. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's a safety device after all. But is that really what it's for?
Yeah, nope, that's not its job. And that single assumption is one of the biggest myths in home safety. The thing most of us are looking at when we think about personal protection is actually designed for something completely different.
All right, so let's start with the device we all think we know, the one we mistake for our own personal bodyguard against getting zapped, the good old standard circuit breaker.
You know, the name itself, circuit breaker, is part of the problem. It sounds like it's there to, well, break the circuit and stop any danger. And it is. But it's only looking for a very specific kind of danger, and believe it or not, it's not looking out for you.
A way better way to think about a circuit breaker is to imagine it as a firewall for your house. Its main job, its whole reason for being, isn't to protect people, it's to protect your property.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty. A circuit breaker is basically a heat and current detector. It's built to trip, to switch itself off when it senses one of two things. An overload, that's when you've plugged way too much stuff into one outlet. Or a short circuit, which is a really serious wiring problem. Both of those things cause a huge surge of electricity.
So what does that actually mean? Well, its real job is to stop the wires inside your walls from getting so hot they literally melt and start a fire. It's there to stop your expensive TV from getting totally fried by a power surge. And yeah, it's what trips when you've got the microwave, the toaster, and the coffee maker all going at once. See the pattern here? It's all about the house and the things in the house.
And to be really blunt about it, the amount of electricity it takes to kill a person is actually tiny. It's way too small for a standard circuit breaker to even notice. It's just not sensitive enough for that kind of danger.
So, if the circuit breaker isn't our personal guardian angel, then what is? Well, let me introduce you to the real hero of the story. This is the safety switch, and it is, quite literally, a lifesaver. This device, and you might see it called an RCD or a GFCI, it plays a completely different game. Instead of looking for those huge power surges, it's always watching the flow of electricity, making sure the current going out is the same as the current coming back. If it senses even the tiniest imbalance, which means electricity is leaking out and going somewhere it shouldn't, like, say, through your body, it springs into action.
And when I say it springs into action, I mean it's fast. A safety switch is designed to shut off the power in just 30 milliseconds.
To give you some perspective on that, that is faster than a single beat of your heart. It shuts the power down so quickly that what could have been a fatal electric shock becomes a painful jolt, but one you walk away from. That incredible speed is what saves lives.
So look, this isn't about one being better than the other. You don't just pick one. They're a team, a dynamic duo, and you absolutely need both of them working together to be properly protected. This table just lays it all out, nice and clear. Just look at the primary purpose, property versus people. Then look at the fault they detect, a massive overload versus a tiny little leak. But the real kicker is that response time. A circuit breaker can take seconds to trip. The safety switch, less than 30 milliseconds, worlds apart.
And that's exactly why you can't split them up. If your home only has circuit breakers, you have basically no real protection from electric shock. But if you only had safety switches, you wouldn't be protected from a circuit slowly overheating inside your walls and starting a fire in the middle of the night. You see, they cover each other's blind spots.
Okay, now we get to the scary part. Just having these devices installed can give you a false sense of security, because they can fail, and when they do, they usually do it without making a sound.
You've got to remember, a safety switch is a physical, mechanical thing. It has moving parts inside. And just like any machine, those parts can get sticky, they can wear out, they can get sluggish, especially if they never get used. From the outside, it looks perfectly fine, but inside, that life-saving speed could be completely gone.
And if you ignore this, you're basically rolling out the welcome mat for the very things you think you're protected from. A faulty breaker isn't going to stop a fire. A slow safety switch won't stop you from getting electrocuted. The stakes here are just incredibly high. So having them isn't enough. You have to know they work.
But here is the good news. You do not have to be an electrician to make sure your most important protector, that safety switch, is ready to do its job. There's a super simple check that you should be doing every few months.
It's honestly so easy. Go to your electrical panel and find the safety switch. It's the one with a little button, usually marked with a T for test. All you do is push it. You should hear a clunk as the switch trips and the power on that circuit goes out. Then you just flip the switch back up to reset it. That's it. That proves all the mechanical parts are moving like they should.
But, and this is critical, what if you push the button and nothing happens? Do not ignore this. If that switch doesn't trip with the test button, it is not going to protect you in a real emergency. It has failed, and you need to call a licensed electrician to get it replaced, like today.
So when you get right down to it, these amazing devices are the silent guardians of your home. The circuit breaker is the firewall for your house, and the safety switch is the lifesaver for you and your family. But they can only protect you if they actually work, which really just leaves one last question. When was the last time you checked yours?